They lose tonight 28-7. It was a close game, like I thought it would be early on. The Kansas City Chiefs proved why they're Super Bowl contenders, pulling away. It kind of reminds me of the Philadelphia Eagles. You can play them tough, but you better be playing them tough for all, 60 minutes, because at a point in time, they're going to capitalize off any mistake that you make and close you out. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs did. Patrick Mahomes, if you give the man time in the pocket, he'll beat you. He keeps the play open to the last second. And when I noticed about the Commanders, they came out strong. I'm like, wow, I was impressed. Number 55, never heard of the guy. But you gotta keep that pressure. You gotta apply pressure for 4 straight quarters, like the Philadelphia Eagles did, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like any team that ever beat them. Gotta apply pressure. And whatever reason, Washington stopped applying pressure. Kansas City, I think, outcoached them in the second half, and put the foot floor to the pedal, and the game was over. Washington lost tons of the night, hamstring. They lost the big guy in the middle. I'm forgetting his name right now. And it looks like McLaren may have aggravated that quad. And I meant to ask Sandman earlier. I'm like, you think they rushed Terry McLaurin back? Do you think they rushed Terry back? Because it kind of just seemed like, because you go from getting a second opinion to coming back in 4 weeks, and you're running, and he just don't. Even though he made some, he's a dog, bro. Even at 60%, he's better than a lot of receivers. Made a lot of great catches. However, he just don't quite look like himself. And now he's possibly re-injured. Laramie Tunzel goes out. They lost a couple other players too. I forget the other players that Washington lost. So my thing, I don't know if do they have to look into their strength and conditioning staff, or what? Do they have to look into that? Because a lot of players is going down, reminiscent of the Detroit Lions last year. Like every game, players are going down and going down and going down. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a nitpicker, but I thought I saw Jaden Daniels smiling when they down 3 scores. I mean, I know you're a young man. You're smiley, but goddamn, you know. But I guess that's just nitpicking. But those are some things that I've seen. I think Washington had a good game plan. Mariota played well, bro. He played very well tonight. He did what he had to do. They just couldn't get in the end zone like that. But when you playing a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, similar to the Eagles, they're going to find ways to beat you. They're going to find ways to win. And they are able to beat you in any kind of way. So if you come out strong for 2 quarters, it's not going to be enough. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not going to be enough. So that is what it is. That is what it is. 3-5 on the season. The Seahawks coming in. You get Jaden back. You get Jaden Daniels back. They're gonna have to string together. You got to take it one game at a time. They got to string it together, string together one win, at a time, to try to get back in this. But it's gonna be tough. And this is why, like the war of attrition, and teams like the Eagles or the Chiefs or even the Bills, they're able to sustain success. It's not just a 1 year thing. You have to sustain that success, and it has to happen in the offseason by replenishing players. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of people don't agree with me, but I just feel like they didn't make the right moves. They made some move. They made moves of a team that thought they was a few players away, instead of bringing in a lot of young talent on there to be able to replenish whatever they lost. Like Bobby Wagner's getting killed in coverage. Frankie Louvu, he ain't really doing shit this year. Trey Amos was a great pickup. He's a great player. Lattimore had an interception today, but he's getting beat all up and down the field. You get to the edges on them. They lost a lot of players too. They lost players, and I can't say nothing about that. That is what it is at the end of the day. But I just don't think, in my opinion, I think with they talk about all the money that they got. Who did you really bring in the offseason? And then, the draft capital. Draft capital is where it's at. You got to get draft capital. You got to draft 8 to 10 players, and at least four of them got to be on the field for you. contributing. And it's early for them. And I think, them making it to the Super Bowl, gave them a false sense of reality because when you reloading for the Eagles, but, the Rams is reloading, the Lions is reloading, San Francisco is reloading, all these Tampa Bay's reloading, all these teams are reloading, and they're reloading too. And you picking up old bums, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation. We're gonna see the pack soon. When we come off this bye. It's gonna be a good game. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts. I'm not gonna be here long, man. That's just my thoughts on how the game went tonight. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. You know, obviously, Eagles fan, but I'm giving my take, what I seen on the Commanders and Chiefs game. They played tough, but football is a 60-minute game. And I do think if they would have had Jaden Daniels, that it would have been a better outcome. Maybe they get 21 to 24 points. I don't know if they win it or not. But yeah, the Pack, shout out to the Packers. Jordan Love had a hell of a game yesterday, man. My thing about the Packers, they can win it all. If it's on Jordan Love. It's on Jordan. If Jordan Love can play like that, when it matters, y'all will go to the Super Bowl this year. Simple as that. If he starts effing up like he did in the playoffs against us, throwing interceptions, and it's gonna be a long, another long off season. But that's just my thoughts on it. I'm a you know what I'm saying? That's a big game against the Pack, bro. That's a big game, and then we got a big game against the Lions. But it's one game at a time. It's one game at a time, yo. So, fly, Eagles, fly, man. We'll talk about it next time. That's my, oh, yeah, Terry McLarin looked like, you see the title, Terry injury. I don't know how the significance of it, but he was on the sideline towards the end, and maybe it was precautionary to keep him off the field, because the game was pretty much over. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes in the next coming days. I'm out of here. Good night, y'all. Peace.